Hello and welcome to my channel, GreenLion Goddess Tarot. This is your daily reading for the 8th of June 2021. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's see what energy is coming in for today. Give a good old shuffle. Like we've talked about, we are kind of moving towards an eclipse on the 10th. So I think the energy is kind of gearing up towards that, and we'll see what sort of influences are coming in. Okay, so we have 10 of Pentacles. We will be looking at stability. The Page of Swords. Find out more information. Oh, the 10 of Cups. Nice. This is good energy. Death. Yeah, there had to be something like that thrown in, didn't it? Yep. And the Moon card. Okay, yeah. Well, so the Moon is making its presence known. It's funny how that kind of happens sometimes. And the 8 of Swords. Okay, so it's like, oh, it was all started off all happy and roses, and then it went, no. No, it's not going to be all that. It's going to be, we're having a good look at this, at your happiness, at your stability, receiving more information around that, around what actually does bring that to you in your life. And so the Page of Swords is really, I'm seeing again, it's that Gemini energy of your intellectual mind. And with the 8 of Swords, we're seeing where there's been limitations around that, where you have placed limitations around that because of perhaps where there's been some sort of limited thinking around that. Perhaps there's more out there, more happiness, or another way to bring stability or security, or maybe there's a big question mark. Why do you need it? So there's what sort of the desire for this, how is that affecting your life? The same for this. Is it creating these limitations? So ultimately, with those two big major arcanas at the end there, with the Death card, which is this beautiful Scorpio energy of transformation and change, it's like Pluto's coming in and going, we're going to take a good look at all of this, and we're going to transform it. And it's not something you're going to feel. Again, it's those messages of, with the Moon card, it's a highly intuitive energy. It's like we're being drawn into the vortex. That Death card is drawing us into this transformation that the eclipse, the new moon eclipse on the 10th is probably bringing, is kind of the energy starting to really affect us. So the Moon card, I am getting, it is just really affected by the Moon's energy coming in, and that is, the Moon's energy can be very highly subjective. It can be highly emotional. It can be highly intuitive. It can be wanting to feel closer to home. It's like, I'm wanting to find a safe home base here within these energies. So it's kind of interesting. But this energy for me actually feels good. It feels like we're moving in a positive direction. Whereas yesterday felt a little bit more like it's intense and slightly there's a confusing and strangeness edge to it. This feels a lot more clear, like, okay, I understand what's happening here. And yes, the transformational energy of the Death card doesn't just happen in one day. Like we said, we've been talking about the fact that this energy has kind of been letting us know about what's been happening on a cycle, as a cyclical nature. So Death card's like a bit more of a slower, more intense energy that we'll probably see over the next couple of days. Maybe, I mean, it can last years, this Death energy. So it's going to be different for all of you. But it is, we've got Scorpio and we've got Pisces and Cancer here. So we're going into that water. You're being drawn into those watery realms, and they can really, that can be interesting for all of us. And when we've got a lot of Pisces and planets in Pisces and Neptune around, and Pluto is doing its thing around, it's in Capricorn, so it is looking at this 10 of Pentacles here. And then the Pisces and Neptunian energy is looking at the 10 of Cups. So that it's like they're all joining forces, but in a positive way. Now, some of you, like with this energy, it can be bringing up some things that doesn't necessarily feel good, but sometimes it can go into a lack, again, the issue around boundaries. It can be talking about betrayal, where people have deceived you. It can be all sorts of things like that. But I'm not feeling it so much with this energy of today. It can be for some of you, but I'm feeling more, it's like oh, I get it now. And now I kind of, it's like what they're showing me is it's like a teacher energy. And it's Jupiter is the teacher, and it's showing you a lot of things. And it's up to you again as to how you do this, but it's kind of like if you've handed in an assignment and the teacher looks at it and says, well, you know, this is good, but you could do this slightly differently and you didn't answer this part of it, and perhaps you could go back and reword that. And it's kind of like that energy of let's go and have a look at where you've built these structures around your heart and your home and your security, and let's you kind of given like a review. You've given it like the answer sheet back from the teacher, and you can look at it and constructively look at it and go, oh, okay, I can see where perhaps I've forgot to address something, or I can do that slightly differently. I could approach it, and you're redoing it, basically reworking it. And so to make it better. And that's ultimately the energy that's coming through here. So it's wanting to, that's why it feels a little bit more positive, because it is wanting to bring, with that 10 of Cups in the center, it's wanting to bring more happiness in. And so there's opportunities with this energy to do that. So that's the energy for the 8th of June. I think it's kind of interesting, but nice. It feels like a bit of a break from a slight shift from some of the energy that we've been feeling up until this point. So I feel like you might feel it slightly shifting and changing for some of you, depending on, you know, who you are and your placements and things like that. But yeah, I think it's quite nice energy actually, and highly intuitive as well. So listen to your intuition. Again, it's that the answers are not just on the intellect, it's the intuition and the intellect working together with this. So it's a nice balance of that. So that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow.